Watch this story in full. Subscribe, comment and like my channel, Green Mythology, for mythology and history. Gateway 2, the captivating worlds of ancient myth. Now watch the story in full please. The Architect's Shadow, a tragic tale of hubris. Lord Arian of Eldoria was a man etched from the noblest stone of the realm. His lineage was ancient, his castle, Skywatch, a marvel of engineering perched atop the highest peak, a testament to his family's legacy and his own burgeoning reputation as a brilliant architect and strategist. Fair of face, sharp of mind, and possessing an almost unnerving charisma, Arian was beloved by his people and respected, if not envied, by his peers. He had a vision for Eldoria, a kingdom united by impenetrable defenses and breathtaking structures, a land where beauty and security intertwined. Yet, within this seemingly perfect facade lay the seed of his destruction, an unyielding, colossal pride. Arian genuinely believed his intellect and foresight were infallible. He dismissed counsel that challenged his ideas, grew impatient with those who couldn't keep pace with his rapid calculations and grand designs, and secretly, deeply, believed he was touched by a genius that elevated him above the common man, even above the kings he advised. This hubris, subtle at first, began to cast a long shadow over his otherwise admirable qualities. His most ambitious project was the Sunstone Bridge, a colossal structure intended to span the treacherous Gorge of Whispers, connecting the prosperous northern territories directly to the capital. It was a feat deemed impossible by generations of engineers. But Arian, with a glint of defiance in his eyes, declared it would be built, and it would be the strongest, most beautiful bridge in all the kingdoms. He poured his heart, soul, and the kingdom's vast resources into the project. He personally oversaw every measurement, every stone laid, every intricate arch designed. Warnings came, soft murmurs at first, then more insistent voices. Elder masons spoke of unstable rock formations deep within the gorge, of ancient wind patterns that could exert unforeseen pressures. Geologists presented findings of seismic activity in the region. Arian listened, a polite, condescending smile playing on his lips, and then dismissed their concerns. Fear speaks louder than fact, he'd say, or, their methods are archaic. My designs account for all variables. His vision was paramount. Doubt was an unwelcome intruder. As the bridge rose, a breathtaking arc of gleaming stone, so too did Arian's arrogance. He reveled in the adoration of the crowds who came to witness the impossible become reality. He hosted lavish feasts, accepting praise as his due. He began to speak of his work as rivaling the creations of the gods themselves. The day of the grand opening was a festival of unparalleled joy. The king himself was present, along with dignitaries from neighboring lands. Arian, at the forefront, delivered a stirring speech, taking full credit for the marvel. As the first procession began to cross, a low tremor ran through the ground. It was dismissed by many as the rumbling of the heavy wagons, but a few, those who had voiced concerns, exchanged fearful glances. Then, a sickening crack echoed across the gorge. A fissure, starting small, snaked rapidly across the central span, precisely where the elder masons had warned of weakness. Panic erupted. The bridge, Arian's glorious testament to his genius, swayed violently. With a deafening roar that drowned out the screams, the heart of the Sunstone Bridge collapsed into the swirling mists of the gorge, taking with it hundreds of lives, including the king's own brother and several of Arian's most loyal engineers who had been on the inaugural crossing. The peripetia, the sudden reversal of fortune, was absolute and brutal. Arian, moments before the most celebrated man in the kingdom, stood on the precipice of the chasm, staring at the ruin. The adulation turned to horror, the praise to bitter accusations. The weight of the catastrophe crushed his spirit, stripping away the layers of his pride. In the days that followed, holed up in his silent, imposing castle, the anagnorisis arrived, a Calnal sharp and unforgiving. He reviewed his plans, his calculations, his dismissals of the warnings. He saw, with horrifying clarity, that his genius had been real, but it had been poisoned by his arrogance. He had been so convinced of his own rightness that he had ignored the very foundations upon which true strength is built: collaboration, humility, and respect for the forces of nature. He hadn't just built a bridge, he had built a monument to his ego, and it had crumbled, taking innocent lives with it. The kingdom mourned. Anger towards Arian was palpable. Stripped of his titles, his wealth confiscated to aid the victims' families, Arian was not executed, a fate many expected. Instead, the new king, a pragmatic and somber man, decreed a punishment perhaps more cruel for a man of Arian's nature: exile to a remote, dilapidated tower overlooking the Gorge of Whispers. His sentence was to spend his remaining days contemplating the chasm and the consequences of his fatal flaw. From his lonely Liao Wang, Arian watched the mist swirl where his masterpiece had stood. He saw the makeshift ferries carrying people across the dangerous waters, a constant, painful reminder of what his pride had wrought. He, who had dreamed of connecting the kingdom, had only succeeded in creating a wider, deeper divide, not just in the land, but in the hearts of his people towards him. His final years were spent in solitude, the echoes of the wind through the broken gorge a mournful symphony to his downfall. He, the once great architect, the beloved lord, was reduced to a solitary figure, a living testament to the ancient truth, that even the most brilliant light can be extinguished by the shadow of unchecked pride. His tragedy evoked not just fear at the destructive power of hubris, but also pity for the broken man who, in the end, recognized the terrible cost of building his dreams on a foundation of sand.